What's going on with y'all? It's Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for watching. Continue to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, share. So today we're going to talk about this lawsuit that's going on in the state of Connecticut as far as, and it's involving transgender athletes. And so the question that I'm posing today is, should transgender athletes be allowed to compete at the high school level? The reason why this question is being brought up is because of that lawsuit. So there is a group of three girls and their families, and they're backed by this Christian-based company that is suing the state of Connecticut to block or file a lawsuit to block these two transgender athletes that are competing in the women's events that keep winning state championships. I mean, I think they said since 2017, in the article I just read by the AP, Associated Press, they've won 15 state championships since 2017. And the girls that's like the face of this lawsuit have lost to these women every single time, essentially. And I find this really I'm perplexed about this, right? Like I don't really know what's the right answer. That's why I'm posing the question. I'm just gonna read some of the stuff that's going on. So essentially, like I said, there's three girls that are the face, but I'm sure there's many others that are basically saying we have a unfair disadvantage against these transgender women who keep beating us in all these races. They're track and field athletes, and they just keep losing. And the two transgender women are saying, like, we face discrimination our whole life. We face discrimination since we've, come out as transgender, and we're athletes. We're runners. We want to compete. We want to have fun. We want to participate in the same things that every other high school athlete gets to do as far as competing on the track and field. And it's just so happened we're really good. Now, that is where it gets kind of, I guess it gets kind of hard to decipher, right? Because these two transgender women were born men or were born boys, and they haven't completed the entire sex rearrangement. So they haven't undergone procedures to carry out the full transition into a woman. And part of that is because they're in high school, right? Like they're probably like 16. They didn't disclose the ages, but they're minors. They're young, so I get it. And so, but that is why the girls who are filing this lawsuit are upset at the other girls, right? And so, in the United States, there are 17 states that allow transgender high school athletes to compete, like with no restrictions. 17, and Connecticut's one of them. There's 8 other states that only allow under certain they have restrictions as far as transgender athletes can compete. And so that is divisive in itself. So if I'm someone in one of these 17 states, of course I'm going to be upset because there's over 30 other states that don't allow this to happen. And then there's 8 states that allow it with restrictions. So I think as a country, we have to come to a conclusion, right? I think we should come up with something that either says, well, that almost should be inclusive, but because you're torn, because now you're going to refer back to those other states that either have restrictions or that don't allow transgender athletes. So as a country, we need to come up with a federal law, I think, or something that fixes this. Because as long as there's half the country on this side, half the country on that side, we're not going to come to a conclusion. You're going to keep seeing lawsuits and keep seeing people complain. I think people are going to complain no matter what. What decision, whether you allow the transgender athletes to compete or if you don't. But as long as there's half the country doing this, half the country doing that, then we're never going to come to a solution. I don't know. You guys let me know. Do you think, because they are children. I mean, these are high school athletes. Do you think transgender children should be allowed to compete in high school athletics? I don't really know. I'm tend to say yes. I'm tend to lean in towards yes. I think they should because they are kids and they want to compete with all the other kids. But there's also a part of me that knows, men have testosterone, whereas women have estrogen, and that testosterone is what allows men to compete at a higher level, right? Like that is why, when men run, they run faster. While when they jump higher because they have testosterone. And if these transgender women haven't gone through a complete sex change, they still have testosterone in their body, so it kind of gives them a competitive advantage to a certain point. Um, and that is why there's men categories and there's women categories, and the women don't compete in the men categories, and the men don't compete in the women categories because of that testosterone estrogen, difference. But I don't know. I know they're just kids, so it's tough for me, man. It is really tough. You let me know. Should transgender athletes be allowed to compete at the high school level? Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thanks for watching. Continue to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video. We'll see you next time.